Hi, I'm Christine Van Buskirk from Swirly Girls Design, and today I'm going to show you the 30-degree ruler CGRSG1. Creative Grids rulers are the best because, first of all, they have all the gripper on the back. And every time you use a ruler, to be successful, you want to cut and you don't want that ruler to slide. There's gripper dots on the back, and there is gripper all along the edge of this ruler, so it's going to stay put when you're cutting. Creative Grids rulers also have black and white line markings on them. So on this ruler, you've got every inch is a solid black line and every half inch is a dashed white line. So you are more easily lining this ruler up on your fabric. It's got a center line, so if you want to cut a half triangle, you're able to line up the 1/4 inch either side of that center line. So you get your seam allowance built into it. So when you're cutting your first piece of a strip to cut a triangle, you can cut an accurate half triangle to finish off a triangular row. All Creative Grids rulers have the MS tag right on the ruler, so if you ever find that you need a reminder of how to use a ruler, you can scan that with your phone and it'll take you right back to this video and you can remember how to use it. You can also go to Creative Grids USA and online, and the instructions for all the rulers are there. I don't know about you, but my rulers and instructions often part ways. I've always got instructions available to me. You also have a 30, 45, and 60-degree line on the ruler, which gives you opportunities to create new patterns and new ideas. To use it, to cut triangles, you start with your strip of fabric. You will place the small end of the triangle at one end of the fabric, and this happens to be a 12 1/4 inch strip. So you line up the 12 1/4 inch line with the other end of the fabric, and you make your first cut. To continue cutting, you're actually going to turn your fabric around now in your ruler, and you can cut triangles all the way across the strip, each time just now rotating the ruler. If you need a half triangle, there is a center line along the ruler with a 1/4 inch seam allowance on either side, so you can get a half triangle too. To create blocks, there's some fun blocks you can make. You can start with triangles at different sizes. This is a large triangle, the same 30-degree triangle smaller, sewn to either side. And then you use a square ruler to cut it down into the star point. When you cut it down, you actually line up your 1/4 inch seam allowance line with the point of the star. The 45-degree line of your square ruler will come up the center triangle, and you can trim and make this one star point. You can sew 4 of those star points together to make a beautiful star block. And this block with this size ruler, you can actually make up to 24 inches. You can also sew strips together. This is an example of a jelly roll strip sewn together. In the same technique, you use your ruler to cut triangles. So then you can start sewing them together and make beautiful blocks that way too. You can also marry this ruler up with the Creative Grids Circle Savvy ruler. Here's an example of a strip set sewn together. You can use the CGRSG1 to cut the 30-degree triangles and again rotate back and forth. Sew them together in a fan. Okay, so throw 3 of those together. Use the Circle Savvy ruler to cut the curved section out and create pieced fan units. Another example is to sew 3 30-degree triangles together. And then you use the Circle Savvy ruler. You can lay it down once and make multiple cuts. If you cut twice, what you can do first of all is get rid of the squared off edges to make a nice circular edge, piece that. You cut a second time and you've created a ringed piece. If you cut background pieces with those, you can do 3 things. You can take the first cut and just make a nice fan unit. You can take the second 2 cuts and you can either make a small fan unit or a pieced ring. So now you can make pieced rings without any templates. you're just using rulers, making nice, easy cuts with acrylic rulers. So the Creative Grid rulers, that's the 30-degree ruler in conjunction with the Circle Savvy ruler.